process improvement side of it. Okay, this is all a very general topic. And the process mapping. Okay, so when we discuss about the process mapping, so we know the process flow, right? Apart from that, we have multiple charts are there. Okay, this you know very well, right? Workflow diagram, we used to follow this particular one. I had given some flow. Okay, so what is the starting and then other parameters. Whenever you're using any workflow diagram, these are all the well-known or industry recognized the pictures you have to use, okay, to understand your process flow. Okay, coming to the various type of process flow, there is a one particular chart called Rocky chart. Okay, RACI. Okay, this will talk about the responsibility metrics. Okay, if you see here, okay, for example, project executive. Okay, we are identifying a task. Okay, who is responsible for what? Okay, if you see here, project executive, okay, he's a project, or we'll take a project manager. Okay, I'm going to do one particular project and the project manager is here, and this is a task one. So project manager is accountable. He is accountable for that project and he is responsible for the project. Okay, that's a project manager. The same thing, if you take the project executive, for example, I'm taking the executive as a CEO of the company. Okay, he is sponsoring our projects. So he is what is the responsibility? He is consultant, that's all, right? We are telling him this project we want to start, and he is a consultant. And the business analyst who is going to drive this, or who is going to understand this particular thing, he is consultant. Okay, technical architect. Okay, this is a different way. We'll take one project. Okay, see, we got a new project. Okay, we will take one year. Okay, we are getting a new year process. Okay, for 2.5 million collection per month, we are getting one new project. Now we need to prepare the RACI chart. Okay, so I am planning to give that into any particular manager. We'll take rough example. Ryan is going to handle that particular project since it is ER. He already has the experience, so we are planning to give it to him. Okay, so then who is responsible? Ryan will be responsible and Ryan will be accountable. Okay, and who is additionally responsible? Since Ryan is reporting to Matt will be responsible of the project, but accountability will be given to Ryan, right? And consulted, who will be consulted? So myself will be consulted and myself will be informed. Okay, and who is only informed? This is about the management, right? Management is informed about what he's doing, right? Whatever he's doing, okay, he is accountable and the manager is responsible, and I am consulted, and the management above me are informed what we are doing, what is the status of that particular project. Okay, this is what we are doing. Okay, the same way, for example, FFN project. Okay, who is responsible? Responsible will be Lauren and accountable will be Kate, right? Or the in the from the AR side, if anyone is coming, they will come under the AR side accountable. And who is consulted? I am the person who is consulted. And second thing is the responsible guy. Sometime this Mark will come for an initial level, and he will come out of the responsibility after 3 months, right? And he's only a start of the point. Then he'll move from the responsible side, and informed will be the management. Management will be informed how the process is going on, where are we, like that. This Rocky chart is very important. Okay, unless I know that I'm only consulted, I will need not jump into that. Okay, for example, accountable, you should know who is accountable for and who is responsible for this. Whenever you start any of the project, make this Rocky chart is very clear, so that the people will know what they are informed, what they are responsible for. This will avoid unnecessary clash, and this will avoid your assumption of the thing. Okay, the assumption is a major problem for many of the problems, right? So you give very clearly who is R, who is A, who is C, and who is I. Okay, we'll call this as a Rocky chart, RACI chart.
Eric,
And then
I have one question.
Yes.
So in the Rocky chart ல நீங்க இப்ப இந்த மேல headings எல்லாம் கொடுத்து project information. So, is this defined one or like?
No, it's just an example. For your process, you can put it. I just take it from the screen. Okay, to explain something on the RACI. See, these are all the see, for example, you have multiple people in the, so we'll take our office itself. Okay, so we will take from the manager level. Okay, so you, Matt, Lauren, and then we will take me. Okay, Brando, everyone will take here. Okay, so you are going to build up the process here. Okay, so the project is here. Is Lauren is anywhere nearby? No, Did you need to inform? Yes, you may inform if it is necessary, otherwise you need not, right? If you make a clear cut chart, then they know very well, okay, I'm not at all involved in the process, right? Then all of a sudden we cannot ask them, say that you are informed, why you are not responding back. See, if you are going to inform, you already inform them very clearly. So you are getting the information. If anything needed, you have to act upon, otherwise we need not include them in the rapid chart.
Okay.
This will avoid the unnecessary assumption of the process. That's what the thing is. Okay, the top down chart is, see, the progress towards various rows, and this is the same similar one. Okay, we will identify what is a primary action, and then what is a action, 4 actions from the top. Okay, this is general flow. Okay, you guys know about it. And functional deployment map, this what I discussed earlier. See, whenever you are working on the process flow, now what we are doing is, our process flows are very simple, right? We are just running the process and then taking it. Whenever you are going for any branded company or the bigger organization, so you have to categorize that by functional deployment map. See, for example, I'll give some example, try to correlate. Okay, for example, you forget all this header. Okay, here I'm saying that there's a charge entry, and the second one is payment posting, and third one is AR, and the fourth one is for example, client. Okay, we consider that as a 4 line. Okay, so we'll call this as a swim lane diagram. Okay, this is a charge entry. Charge entry, what is the process? I'll get the SFTP, I'll go to SFTP, or I'll go to the software, and then I'll enter the charge, and I'll file it to the insurance company. When I receive the payment, then I'll move to the payment posting. The second lot I'm moving, second lane. So in the second lane, the payment posting will post. And if anything is denial is posted, it will move to AR. I'm moving to the third lane. Okay, AR activity. Like that, we have to classify who is responsible or who is the functional, how this is relating between. So these kind of diagrams they may expect. Okay, it's not a simple process flow, but it is based on the functional process flow. Many of the company will expect. Okay, so you try to build that kind of chart. If any new process is coming in, that will be helpful to understand where we can drive our line. Okay, where we can demarcate. That kind of description will be better. In the bottom one, just a simple flow chart. See, I just want to compare both. Okay, for example, you see the flow chart what we are using right now, which is I marked in the blue color. This need to be converted into the swim lane plan. Okay, diagram. That's the way it should be ideally. Okay, so you try to develop that kind of process flows. Any question here?
Eric, one question. If you stated நீங்க 1 2 3 4 like you are segregated for example like charge entry, payment posting, AR அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு. So like the AR process flow was defined. இப்போ அதுக்குள்ள இருக்கிற ப்ராசஸ், so you call that as a functional I mean the development map. Okay, functional workflow or something.
Correct. So see, what you are doing is you are taking AR as a separate process, and then you are running that in the third lane. Okay, you can run it, but how we are getting from the base, right? AR is not coming all of a sudden, right? Because from the charge, from the payment, so you have to link the functionals. All other function you have to link in the swim lane. Okay, that will give a more clarity why you are getting the AR and what category you are getting the AR. That kind of differentiation it will give.
Okay, once I define that, it's okay. Like as you stated, picking up from the charge entry, like once you submit and we are getting a payment, so that flows comes to a payment. I mean, block 2, payment posting is done, and if they identified any denials, and it will comes to the block 3, like AR work. How like I got the denial and I have a work.
Correct.
அதிலிருந்து தெரியுது இல்லையா, like so what do you call that? இப்போ denials வந்துருச்சு, and that will be
Ryan, I think you have confused with the heading process mapping, and நீங்க வந்து இந்த sub process, for example ARல என்னென்ன ஆக்டிவிட்டி, அதே மாதிரி சார்ஜஸ் கோடிங் அதெல்லாம் என்னென்ன ஆக்டிவிட்டி, அதுல இருந்து பிரியறது கேக்குறீங்களா?
இல்ல, அவர் என்ன கேக்குறாருன்னா, தேர்ட்ல வந்து ஏஆர் இருக்கு. ஏஆர்ல வந்து நான் இங்க வந்து எல்லாத்தையும் நான் ஏஆரோட ப்ராசஸ் ஃப்ளோ எல்லாத்தையும் தேர்ட் லைன்ல போட்டே வரேன். அங்க இருந்து எனக்கு திருப்பி போறது எப்படி லிங்க் பண்றீங்க, லிங்க் பண்ணணும்னு கேக்குறீங்க. கரெக்டா? அதான் என்னோட அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்டிங். ஓகே
கரெக்ட்.
ஓகே, இப்போ என்னோட பாயிண்ட் என்ன இங்க பாருங்க. ஃபர்ஸ்ட்ல வந்து நீங்க ஒரே ஒரு ப்ராசஸ் டிஃபைன் பண்றதுக்கு பதிலா யூ ஹாவ் டு கனெக்ட் ஆல் தி இன்டர்லிங்கிங் ப்ராசஸ். அது உங்களுக்கு புரிஞ்சுச்சுன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். ரைட்டா? ஏர்ல இருந்து பேமெண்ட் எப்படி வருது, பேமெண்ட்ல இருந்து அது சார்ஜ்ல இருந்து பேமெண்ட் எப்படி வருது, பேமெண்ட்ல இருந்து ஏர் எப்படி வருது. ரைட்டா? இப்போ இந்த ஏர்ல வந்து யூ ஹாவ் டு கிவ் யுவர் என்டையர் ப்ராசஸ் ஃப்ளோ ஹியர் இன் த தேர்ட் லைன். ஓகே, இங்க இருந்து ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் ஐ எம் கோயிங் டு சென்ட் இட் டு த சார்ஜ் என்ட்ரி, யூ ஹாவ் டு லிங்க் அகைன், ரைட்? எந்த இடத்துல இருந்து யூ ஆர் கோயிங் டு சென்ட் இட் டு த சார்ஜ் என்ட்ரி, வேர் யூ ஆர் கோயிங் டு சென்ட் இட் டு த பேமெண்ட் போஸ்டிங், லைக் தட் யூ ஹாவ் டு லிங்க்.
அது அந்த பேக் ஃப்ளோ வந்து இங்க இல்ல டயகிராம்ல. சோ அதுதான் நான் கேக்குறேன்.
சாம்பிள் தானே காட்டிருக்கேன். நான் ஒரு சாம்பிள் தானே போட்டிருக்கேன். யூ ஹேவ் டு கிவ் தட் ஃப்ளோ, ரைட்?
இல்ல நான் எப்படி நினைச்சேன்னா பேக் ஃப்ளோ வராத மாதிரி
இல்ல அப்படி எல்லாம் பண்ண முடியாது. தட் இஸ் நாட் த வே, ரைட்?
ஆனா லாஜிக்கா பாத்தீங்கன்னா நம்ம சார்ஜ் என்ட்ரிக்கு எதுவும் கொடுக்கறது இல்ல, ஏர்ல இருந்து
கொடுக்கணும்ல. சரியா ஒர்க் பண்ணலன்னா திரும்ப கொடுக்கணும் அவங்ககிட்ட.
அதுக்கு தான் ப்ரீ பில்லிங்ல இருந்து போயிட்டு இருக்கு சார்ஜ் என்ட்ரி.
இல்ல பண்ணும் பேக் எண்ட்ல வந்து ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் சம்டைம் வாட் இஸ் ஹேப்பனிங் இஸ், இப்போ நீங்க ஏதாவது ஐடென்டி பண்றீங்க ஒரு பேட்ச், நிறைய ப்ராசஸ்ல வந்து பில்லிங் இருக்கும். நம்ம இங்க இல்ல, பட் வி வில் சென்ட் இட் டு தி சார்ஜ் என்ட்ரி டீம் as a bulk projects and all. வில் டு இட். பேக் எண்ட் இருக்கும், பேக் ஃப்ளோ இருக்கும், எல்லாமே இருக்கும். சும்மா ஜஸ்ட் ஒரு எக்ஸாம்பிளுக்கு பிக்சரைசேஷன் காட்டணுங்கிறதா நம்ம. ஓகே, so this is a very very important topic. Okay, what
நம்ம அட்ஜஸ்ட்மென்ட் பண்றோம்.
வாப்பா
டிரைவ்ல
வாப்பா.
அதாவது இப்போ நம்ம ஏருக்கு போகுது. சோ ஏர்ல இருந்து நம்ம ரிப்போர்ட் ரன் பண்ணி அகைன் பேமெண்ட் போஸ்டிங் அது அட்ஜஸ்ட்மென்ட் ப்ராசஸ் வருது இல்லையா, அத நம்ம கனெக்ட் பண்ணலாம்ல.
சிஆர்எல் அட்ஜஸ்ட்மென்ட் வருது,
சிஆர்எல் ட்ரை வொர்க்ஸ், சோ இதெல்லாம் நம்ம கனெக்ட் பண்ணலாம்.
கரெக்ட்.
வாங்க கோபி.
ரைட். Okay, so this is a work instruction. Okay, this is very important. Okay, understand the difference between SOP and work instruction. Okay, so அதான் இப்போ SOC ஆடிட்ல நீங்க இருந்தீங்கன்னா அவங்க நிறைய டைம் கேட்டிருப்பாங்க, வாட் இஸ் யுவர் ஒர்க் இன்ஸ்ட்ரக்ஷன், வாட் இஸ் யுவர் SOP. நம்ம வந்து நிறைய டைம் சொல்லிப்போம் ஒர்க் இன்ஸ்ட்ரக்ஷன் அதான், SOP அதான், ஆலினால் அழகராசா அதான் அப்படின்னு சொல்லியிருப்போம், ரைட்? ஸோ தட் இஸ் நாட் தி ஃப்ளோ. சாரி,
ரூல்ஸ் புக்
rules book அப்படின்னு கேட்டிருப்பாங்க, ரைட்? ஸோ த ஒர்க் இன்ஸ்ட்ரக்ஷன், ஓகே, வாட் இஸ் a written procedure? Okay, that is very important. What should be there in the written procedure, and what is the difference between a written procedure and work instruction? Okay, the work instruction என்னன்னா written procedure, it should contain the work instruction in place, will ensure everybody is following the same process, reduce variation. இதான் வந்து work instruction. See, for example, we'll take a AR. Okay, the claim is denied for CO18. The CO18, what are all the steps you want to verify, what you need to do, what action you need to take, அப்படிங்கிறது தான் இந்த work instruction. AR வந்து denial work பண்றதுன்னு ஒரு சிம்பிள் வேர்ட்ல முடிக்கிறதுக்கு பேர் work instruction கிடையாது, ரைட்டா? That's what we try to get it from here. We got a lot of fireback, so we stopped that process, right? And what we are thinking here is SOP is nothing but the screenshot, and then if you give that, the team will go ahead and then work. No, that's not the way, right? See, the thing is, when your workflow is given to them, it should be a complete work instruction should be there. Okay, and why we have to capture all the work instruction? Mainly, then only your results are repeatable. See, for example, if I ask one user, come and sit my charge entry on IMA, the same user, if I move them to Dr. A next day, they should be able to enter because they are experienced charge entry person. What you need is only the work instruction. If you have that kind of detailed work instruction, you need not worry about the quality, because they will go to the work instruction, read the instruction and follow. But what we have is a SOP, which is not a written procedure or work instruction, that need to be improved on. Okay, that is first thing. And unless you have this work instruction, you cannot improve the process, and your results will not be repeatability. Every person, they will think in their own way, and your results will be 100%. It will vary compared to one person to other person. If it is varying, again your Six Sigma will come to a play. The main reason why there is a variation is there is no proper work instruction. So each and every point need to be documented. Okay, you would have been seen that denial resolution chart, right? Many of them would have been forgot it, and many of them don't care about what is this mainly. See, mainly when I joined the Six Sigma black belt course, okay, we had the same course with a lot of IT folks. Okay, they are from the customer support. Okay, when the customer is calling and then creating some challenges over there, see, they are creating a ticket, right? When the ticket is created, they will have a proper workflow. I went through the 2 or 3 people. Okay, that is a ticket raised. Okay, for that ticket, what they are going to analyze, what is the action they are going to take, what is the outcome. Everything is documented very perfectly. For example, one person is on leave and second person is coming and then sitting that particular place. He will open that instruction and he will easily follow up. See, mainly we don't have that kind of setup. Okay, that's what my thought. And then I created that denial resolution metric. Okay, after a long struggle. Okay, I spent around 5 to 6 months to create that. If you go there, if you go to that particular chart, okay, so if you give to any of the user, what they need to do, so they go and then find what is the denial code. They will search the denial code. It will give an instruction what is the analysis you have to do, and what is the call you have to make, and what is the status code you need to follow, what is the action code, what is the follow-up you need to do. Okay, that has the entire detailed description. I spent a lot of time when I did this black belt course. I created that one. Okay, I tried to sell it to many people, but I got a lot of rejections. Okay, so when I was a team leader or I was a manager on that particular project, I'll force it. I'll make sure that everyone is following my book there. Okay, that's what I used to do. So that is called your work instruction. See, for example, you are saying that CO18 is a denial, right? It is giving an instruction what need to be done. So the people has to follow that instruction. They cannot think their own out of box thinking, right? We are bringing them to the same flow. Okay, this flow. If the flow is different, document it. Okay, add it as additional point, so that what will happen is within a 3 months or a 6 months time, whether you are getting a fresher or experience, your process flow will be streamlined. Similar way the process will be. Okay, then only you can expect the similar results from the people. Otherwise, will not. Right. So that is a major instruction for the written procedure, and preserve the knowledge for the best practices. Say, for example, your denial matrix is very, very perfect for that one particular practice. It can be easily copied to other practice, right? You can say that this is a denial. If the denial is coming like this, and then you can follow that. That's the main thing. And describe the process in the general level and a high level. So the work procedure and the work instruction are very, very effective tool to avoid your variation, avoid your quality challenges. Okay, because we are thinking that people will come with the knowledge. Okay, that is not going to happen. Okay, so you have to prepare the work instruction. If you want your process to be streamlined, you come back and then ask the team, what is the work instruction says, what you are doing, why there is a deviation. Then your process will align to that particular procedure. Okay, what are all the written procedure, what all it should come. Okay, purpose and scope of the procedure and what it is going to cover, and terms and definition, procedure and methods, and what is the responsibility, training. Okay, written documentation on that particular flow, review the information. Okay, part of document control, outlining any changes. See, for example, I may add a new point. Okay, you have to document what is the additional point you are adding, so that it will become one rule book or one particular written instruction for everyone. And work instruction include technical drawing. It may include, okay, the written procedure may include technical drawing, specification, safety requirements, and tip. Okay, these are all the things you can add it there and use by people who are all performing. Okay, the work instruction is very, very important to avoid your deviations in the process.
G or doubt G. இப்போ நம்ம எஸ்ஓபின்னு சொல்லி வச்சிருக்கோம் இல்லையா, நம்ம கிளைண்ட்ஸ் நிறைய இதுக்கு வச்சிருக்கோம். இப்போ நான் சார்ஜ் என்ட்ரி ப்ராசஸ்ல எடுத்து பார்த்தோம்னா அதுல தெளிவான இன்ஸ்ட்ரக்ஷன் இருக்கு. இங்க கோ டு திஸ் சாஃப்ட்வேர், லாகின் லைக் திஸ், இந்த மாதிரி இது பிரஸ் பண்ணுங்க, இந்த ஏரியா போங்க, இந்த இது என்டர் பண்ணுங்க, ஸோ இந்த மாடிஃபையர், இந்த சிபிடி, இது எல்லாமே இருக்கு. ஸோ why we are not calling that as an work instruction and why we have named it as SOP? அப்ப அதுதானே நமக்கு work instruction ஆ யூஸ் பண்ணுவோம். அது
process flow தான் நம்ம செய்யணும்.
process flow தானே அது. நீங்க எங்க போணும், எப்படி வரணும்னு சொன்னீங்கன்னா அது process flow. See, for example,
இல்ல அதுலயே வந்துட்டு இப்போ இந்த சிபிடி வரும்போது, ஓகே, கோவிட் சிபிடி, இந்த டயக்னோசிஸ் எடுக்கணும், இவ்வளவு பில்ட் அமௌண்ட் இது இருக்கு. சோ அது அவங்க ஒர்க் பண்றது தானே நான் அந்த இடத்துல போட்டிருக்கேன்.
நீங்க போட்டிருக்கீங்க. இப்போ ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் எனக்கு வந்து
சாரி ரிக், நான் சொல்ல விரும்புறேன். அது வந்து உங்களுக்கு எஸ்ஓபி வந்து மாறும். இந்த ஒர்க் இன்ஸ்ட்ரக்ஷன்ஸ்ங்கிறது இந்த ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் எரிக்சன் எக்ஸாம்பிள் எடுத்து, இந்த டினையல்னா நீங்க என்ன சாஃப்ட்வேர் என்ன இது பண்ணாலும் இதுதான் ஸ்டெப்புங்கிற இன்ஸ்ட்ரக்ஷன்ஸ் வந்து மாறாது. ஆனா உங்க எஸ்ஓபி வந்து மாறும்.
சாஃப்ட்வேர் வைஸ் இட் வில் சேஞ்ச் இல்ல. ஒரு சாஃப்ட்வேருக்கு வந்து எப்படி போகணுன்றது வந்து டிஃபர் ஆகும், கரெக்ட்டுங்களா? ஆனா உங்களோட ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் சார்ஜ் என்ட்ரின்ற ஒரு ப்ராசஸ் வந்து எங்க இருந்து ஆரம்பிக்கிறீங்க, என்னெல்லாம் ஆட் பண்ணுங்கிறது வந்து இன்ஸ்ட்ரக்ஷன்ஸ். தட் இஸ் அ டிஃபரன்ஸ் பிட்வீன் these two.
Okay.
In the work instruction can be copied and then used many places, but SOP cannot, right? Unless it is the same software. சேம் சாஃப்ட்வேர் இருந்தா கூட யூஸ் பண்ண முடியாது மெனி டைம், ரைட்டா? உங்களோட இன்ஸ்ட்ரக்ஷன் வந்து சேஞ்ச் ஆகும். ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் டாக்டர் வந்து இந்த பர்டிகுலர் கோடுக்கு வந்து நீ அட்ஜஸ்ட் பண்ணும் பாரு, அடுத்த டாக்டர் வந்து அதே இது சொல்லுவாருன்னு சொல்ல முடியாது, ரைட்? ஹி மே ஆஸ்க் யூ டு அப்பீல் இட். ஸோ த ஒர்க் இன்ஸ்ட்ரக்ஷன் மே டிஃபர், ஓகே, அண்ட் தட் நீட் டு பி கேப்சர்ட் பை த ப்ராசஸ்.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Any other question? So இந்த டாபிக் முடிஞ்சது. It's very simple. Okay, measure, process mapping பத்தி பேசணும், and we talk about the work instructions. Okay, right. We'll move to probability and then statistical distribution. Okay, இது ஒரு சம டாபிக், எல்லாத்தையும் 10th கூட்டு போறோம் இப்போ, right? Probability and events. Okay, so what do you mean by probability? Gopi.
Eric,
What do you mean by probability? 10th எவ்வளவு மார்க் வாங்குவீங்க மேத்ஸ்ல?
10th மேக்ஸ்ல 84 எரிக்.
பெரிய மார்க்,
இருந்தாலும்
பெரிய மார்க் ஆச்சு, அப்ப சொல்லணுமே இப்போ.
மேக்ஸ்ல மட்டும் தான் அவ்வளவு வாங்கினேன். மேக்ஸ் தானே அது?
மேத்ஸே தான் அது.
ஓகே, சாரி எரிக், நாட் ஷூர்.
Accident probability
Probability
என்னப்பா?
means may or may not happen. இந்த மாதிரி probability.
Chances of occurrence சொல்லலாம் ஜி.
Chances of occurrence. இப்போ ஒரு டாஸ் போடுறீங்க, காயின். What is the probability? We have two probabilities. One is head or tail. That is the probability. Okay, if you are dicing the dice உருட்டுறீங்க, அப்ப என்ன வரும், எத்தனை probability வரும்? There are 6 probabilities are there, right? That is called the probability. 1 2 3 4 5 and 6, right? There are 6 probabilities are there. So that is the thing, probability and then events. Okay, the measure likelihood of the outcome. Okay, it may come or may not. Okay, so always the probability is expressed in the decimal or a percentage. Okay, for example, I am tossing a coin and then getting a head. Okay, which is a how many outcomes are there? Head and tail. The outcome is 2. How many I got? 1. So 1/2, which is a 50% of the chances. Okay, so இதுல வந்து ஒரு ரூல் என்ன, the sum of the probabilities within the same sample space will be equal to 1. எல்லாத்தையும் ஆட் பண்ணீங்கன்னா it will come as a 1. Say for example, head 1/2, tail 1/2, இரண்டையும் ஆட் பண்ணீங்கன்னா you will get answer of 1. Okay, the event cannot occur equals to 1. For example, I am tossing my coin. Okay, what is the probability that I will not get tail or head? அது மாதிரி ஏதாவது வருமா? வராது, unless I created it. Okay, the probability will become 0. Okay, probability of event must occur equal to 1. Probability of event not occur will be 1 minus the probability. Okay, these are all general rules of the probability. Okay, sample space. Okay, set of possible outcome of an experimental. See, for example, tossing the coin, head and tail will be the sample space, expected results. Event, set of outcomes of the experiment. Okay, event also the same thing. Okay, what is going to happen? See, for example, I'm rolling the dice. Okay, number 1 is the set of outcome. Or for example, I have a two dice I'm rolling. Okay, what are all the possibilities? 1 1. Okay, 2 1, 2 2. Okay, these are all the set of possibilities between the two events. Okay, simple event, single outcome by performed by the experiment. This is also the same. And compound events. Compound events is mutually exclusive events, dependent events, and then independent events. Like that, we have a compound events are there. Okay, these are all just general. Okay, we'll go to in depth when we are going for a black belt. Okay, mutually exclusive events is a coin. Okay, so for example, if you get head, you won't get a tail, right? Independent and then dependent variable. See, for example, P of A intersect B. So formula is P of A plus P of B. So what it says, so you have to add both to get the number. Okay, any question?
No, Ji.
Okay, if you have any question, refer to your 10th book. Okay, so rule of addition and multiplication, P of A union B. Okay, this is called this particular segment, right? What all the is overlapping, this is called P, that is A union B. The formula is P of A plus P of B minus P of A intersect B. This is a formula for that. And when there is no intersection between, see, for example, you take the second table, when there is no intersection, PARB will be P of A plus P of B. Okay, these are all some of the general formula. Okay, since they mentioned, I just covered. Okay, there won't be any major impact here in the green belt when you go to.
Suppose இந்த ஃபார்முலா வந்து நம்மளோட ப்ராசஸ்க்கு ஏதாவது அப்ளிகபிள் ஆகுமா?
வரும், but we'll once you get into that level you will understand.
உங்க பையன் 10th வரும்போது இது யூஸ் ஆகும்.
கண்டிப்பா யூஸ் ஆகும்.
10th வரும்போது இதெல்லாம் பார்த்த மாதிரி ஞாபகம் இல்லை எனக்கு.
படிக்கணும், மேட் படிக்கணும்.
சிலபஸ் 40 மார்க் தான் எடுத்தேன் நான் மேக்ஸ்ல.
Very good. Okay, so these are all general rule. Okay, so I don't want to get into too in depth. Okay, உங்களுக்கு இதுல வரும்போது தெரியும். Okay, இந்த some theoremsலாம் இருக்கு. Okay, அதுல வரும்போது it will get useful for you. Okay, so permutation and combination. So probability problem, permutation, combination.
நான் கோபி கிட்ட கேட்டு
தெரிஞ்சுக்கிறீங்களா? Okay, 84 மார்க் வந்துருக்கு.
ஆஃப்லைன்ல பேசுவோம்.
Okay, see the permutation and combination. Okay, so these are all some of the formulas. Okay, number of permutation in the set is going to be filled. Okay, I'll give an example. We assume there are 10 candidates. Okay, similar skill set and equal chances being selected. Okay, our class level we have a 10 people. Okay, we need to select 3 people to fill the position. Okay, but considering the same person cannot hold more than one office. Okay, in how many ways the team can be selected? Okay, got the question? There are 10 candidates. Each one particular project you have to select 3 people. Okay, and one should not repeat again. So for that we are using a permutation combination. The formula is n symbol divided by n minus 1. See 10 factorial 10 factorial divided by n minus r factorial. Okay, 10 factorial you have to drive it to the last, divide by 7. So for 7 factorial na 7 6 5 4 3 2 1 அப்படினு லாஸ்ட் வரைக்கும் கொண்டு போகணும். ஸோ இது நேம் போட்டிங்கன்னா there is a 720 ways you can select this combination. n is 10, r is 3, required is 3, total number of people is 10. The combination we will have a 720 combination to fill the particular position. Okay, this is your permutation, and combination is the same. Okay, for example, 3 heads in the 5 flip in the coin. See, for example, we'll go to the solution. Okay, calculate the probability of getting exactly 3 heads in 5 flips of the coin. You are tossing 5 times, exactly 3 heads, how many times you may get it. So for that the formula is n factorial divided by r factorial. Okay, the n factorial is 5 times you are tossing and your requirement is 3. So if you put it, there are 20 times you may get the head here. Okay, this is a permutation and combination method. Any question? Lot of question, right? Where we are going to use it? That's a question. We'll cover it. Okay. Then it's coming to the distribution. Okay, the distribution, we know this particular distribution. What do you call this? We'll call this as a bell curve, right?
Bell curve.
Whenever you go to bigger organization, they will put bell curve, then only they will give a appraisal. Okay, who is getting in the top will only get the better appraisal. All other people will fall under those 2 categories. Okay, many of the time it will not fall under the bell curve. We have to give a forced bell curve, and then we have to do, there are a lot of challenges in it. Okay, so that is a bell curve. Okay, with the standard nominal distribution, the z distribution, that is standard. See, for example, it will start from 0 to 1. Okay, that's a nominal distribution. See, when you are taking your flow, when it is fall under the nominal distribution, your process will be normal. Okay, otherwise what will happen? It will skewed out. Okay, for example, this curve will move towards right or towards left. Okay, that will give some indication. Actually, we are trying to create this particular this bell curve chart for your charge entry side of it. Okay, that's what we started working with Arun. See, what we are trying to do is we are trying to get all the CPT code, right? Where the CPT code plays a major role, especially the lab and the ABA business. Okay, your CPT code plays your outcome. Okay, see, whenever the charges are more or the highly paid CPT codes are billed more, we are assured of getting our revenue. Otherwise, it will get disturbed, right? We are not concentrating on that particular area. We are seeing that what is the total charge value. Okay, that may be a one factor, but that may not give the correct indicator. So what we are planning is every month we'll go and then try to build up this kind of a chart, then compare this distribution between month on month. Okay, for example, if any CPT code is skewed towards the right side or a left side, based on the value which we are going to collect will change. Okay, that's kind of distribution model we are planning to do, but not yet done. Okay, once it is done, I'll explain in detail how we are doing it. This is a normal distribution curve. Okay, the what is the calculating possibilities? X minus mu divided by sigma deviation. Okay, mu is a mean. If you put that, and then it will bring your curve. Okay, so I'm not going in depth, I'm just skipping it. Okay, you go through the topic and then understand what is there in it. Okay, next one is binomial and Poisson distribution. Okay, there are a lot of